Hi. Okay, so in today's class, we are going to be designing product cards. We have to make a screen that looks, first of all, brings the product for us, and then also when the product comes, you can make selections of the product that you want and then add them to carts. And when you go into your cart, you can increase the quantity of the product that you've selected. Okay, so this is the basic thing. This is what we just want to do. So we're going to be building this step by step. First of all, today we're going to just discuss about creating the first screen, where you have to have the list of the product and be able to add them to cart. And then in our second video, we are going to be discussing how you can um, navigate to the cart that you have created based on the product selections that you have made, and be able to either increase or reduce price, and also maybe checkout. All right, so let's dive in straight off. Thank you very much. Um, First of all, I'm going to go to data, and then I'll add our data source. The data source we're going to be using is SharePoint. So I'm going to I've created two tables that we're going to be using for this. One of them is the product, and the other is the product order. So the product order is more like going to be our cart or the products that we have ordered. You can say my products. Okay, this resides inside the SharePoint site called development, and then not issue tracker. This is product order, of course, and this is the product. So I'm going to make my connection. All right, the two SharePoint list has been added, and then when I click on the layers and come back here, I can rename this to maybe my product screen. Okay, product screen. The reason I'm naming it to product screen is because if I name it product loan, I might have other things that conflict the name, but it doesn't really mean that there will be a conflict. It's just for me to understand that when I'm referring to product screen, I'm referring to the product screen. And that is quite good. I mean, you should um, have a unique name for every control, every item you have in your list, you know. All right. So the next thing I'll do is insert a rectangle, and then I would expand it and choose a color. Okay, I choose a color that I want this to be. So my color would be say this. Okay, this looks nice. Okay, I'm going to pick this color, and now if you look at the border, it's different, but then the reason is because I'm not using border, so it's 0. But I can also change it, avoid any conflict as well. Okay, and I will insert a text label. So my test label would cover this, and then I'll change this to product. Oh, don't worry, don't mind that. My D keeps freezing. I'll change this to 30, and then I will make the font weight to bold. And I don't like how this is nicely placed. This is unnicely placed at the edge. So I'm going to go to left, make this 40 or 50. You know, 50 looks fine. And I will change the font color to white, and that should be fine. All right, so now we have it. There is some other thing I need here. I can't remember what it is now, but as we proceed, of course, I'll remember what it is. I would add a gallery, a vertical gallery, and the vertical gallery is going to be coming from the is going to be fed by the product. So the product list will be displayed here, and I'm going to expand this. First, I need to uh, modify my template. So to modify my template, I'll change the layout because my products do not have images. So I'll change the layout to title, subtitle, and body. And once this is done, I would also come here and I leave my wrap to 1. If you change this to 2, it will mean that this is going to look like this. Okay, so I don't want that. I just change it to 1, and then I'll go to template size and make it 100, and then my template padding I make it 10, and this should look good for me. All right, so I'll have this rectangle. I don't need it, so I'm going to delete it. I have this separator. I don't need this, so I'm going to delete it. I have this arrow as well. I don't need it. I'm going to delete it. So our body is going to be used for quantity. So I'm going to call this PRD quantity. And then inside this place, I'm going to say available quantity because that's the name of the column. Okay, and then when I say available quantity, I would do a concatenate. If you don't want to do a concatenate using this concatenate function, you can use the AND operator. So I'm going to say this would be the IMV quantity. Okay, put a space so that you'll be able to have a nice space between the two of them and close your parentheses. Now you see we have inventory quantity for our products, and this I'm going to call the price. So I'm going to call this the PRD price, and inside the price I'm going to say also concatenate. So I'm going to concatenate unit price, or call it price, say price, um and I'm going to close this. But then I also want to format my price so that it will have a nicely formatted number. So I'll say test, open this, and then a comma here, and then put my format. So what will my format be like? My format would be like hash dot, not dot actually, comma, hash hash 0.00. But you see, this is not changing. I mean, it's not changing. So what's going on? I don't know why. By the way, this is still product name. So what we want to put here is product price and not name. So I'm going to remove this. But then you see, it's not changing. I think that is what I was actually looking at, the wrong thing. So the product price is there, but it's not formatting based on what we want. So to do that, to format it, you have to put a value here and then over this. Okay, so okay, now that's looking good. You see, the reason why that was not displaying in the format that I have provided was because this is a test. So if you look at this, the data type is a test, but all I did was to convert it to number. So when you convert it to number, you are able to format it in this order. Okay, so that is it. The next we have to go back here and then say this is PRD name. And inside here we call this products. And the product name is here. We are going to make this bold. So both already have the font weight already have a dynamic expression, but we just want to make it bold. Okay, change the font size to maybe 18 or maybe something bigger. So it looks a little bit better than what it was. Now this is how it looks. Next thing you need to do is inside here we select the item and insert a button. Okay, so I can call this ITM BTN, so item button, and also with the right thing, so we'll call it item button. And I will place this from the top, then expand it all the way. Remove the name and then change the background color to nothing. But then after that, I would go to the border color, take it out. This is the border color, take it out, and then replace it with our template color. But once this is done, you see that if you hover over it, you still have this color overlay. So I'm going to select it again, scroll down, and then come to the hover color, select this nice, and delete the expression there. Now select it again, make it transparent. Now, if I hover over this, it's not disturbing me anymore. Again, I noticed that there is this scroll bar here. I don't really like that. You can keep that if you want, but then I want to get rid of it. So to get rid of it, I will select the template, the gallery again, and go over to template, and I'll see show scroll bar. I will turn it off. Now it is no longer there. All right. Um, if you want to use navigation, you can turn this navigation on. You can see that. So if you click on it, it will display the one at the top if you are not at the edge. You know, I don't need it as well, so I'm going to turn it off. All right, so that's an option that you can choose if you don't want to use the scroll bar and you want to use navigation. But if you want to use the scroll bar, of course, that's nice. It helps you to know that there are some more items below. Okay. So now that we have this, the next I need to do is add a button. I want to add a button, another button here, and I'm going to call it add to cart. So insert a button. Yeah, insert a button, and then I call it add to cart. Add to cart button, right? Add to cart BTN. So this makes sense. And then I'll take it nicely to the right. Then I'll change this to add to cards. I will change the color to this and then change the background color to transparent. And when I change the background color to transparent, I will go to border color and also change it to our primary color. So this is our primary color and it looks better. But then it still doesn't look good. What I have to do is I'm going to go to the width and then I'll make this 200. Let's see. 200 looks a little bit nice. And the height, I'm going to make the height 60. Okay, looking a little better. But that's not all. I want to make the border radius. I want to change the border radius to 50. And this looks better. Okay, I will now position this where I want it. And we have a little beautiful or beautifully defined design add to cart. So if I click this, I expect my product to add it to cart. But how do I do that? I'll go to the advanced and then select advanced property and select the unselect property. And inside the unselect property, I'm going to get rid of this and then I'm going to make a collection. So say collect, and I'm going to call this call my orders. So comma, and I'm going to put a curly bracket and then close the parenthesis. I will expand this a little bit and then format this to look nice. If you don't want to format this, you can remove the formatting, it will be in one line. Okay, so I'm just going to format this. And in between this, I'm going to click the enter and then I will start mapping or creating the columns that I want to have inside my collections. So first I need the PRD ID. So this is going to come from this item dot ID. Remember, we are pointing to a SharePoint list, so we're leveraging the ID to create the ID in my orders. Next is the product name. So I'm going to say PRD name would be this item dot product name. And then we have quantity. Oh, unit price, right? So let's do price first. Okay, so we say PRD price comes from this item dot price, and then we have quantity. Call this PRD quantity would be 1. And we have one thing left. We need to add the total quantity. How do we do that? I'm going to do multiply product price by product quantity. And how do we do that? We put a comma here and say PRD total price would be 1 multiplied by this. Now, it's just one, but we are coming to something. All right. So if I play this up and then click on add, this is one chart and I click adding. You see how many times I clicked it? That's the number of columns we are going to have. So if I come here, if I select the button, come here to look at that collection, I'm going to have a lot of items. And this is not what you want, right? You want to be able to, when you click on add, it still becomes one item, but the quantity increases and the total price increase. Okay, so how do we do that? All we have to do is put a condition. But before we put the condition, I'm going to place a shopping cart here that shows us or tells us the number of items we have in a cart. So I'm going to say look for cart, bring it up, place it here nicely, go to property, change the color to white, and then I'm going to insert a text input. Yeah, test input is the perfect thing to choose here. So I'm going to say this is going to be count rows, my order, call, my orders. So now you have 7 items inside. Okay, and you just want to have one item because it's just one item that we selected. This is not really completely designed, so I'm going to just go straight down to designing it. So I'm going to say the width of this is going to be 50 and the height is going to be 50. And once this is done, I'm going to centralize this, but then it doesn't look centralized. It looks a little bit uncentralized. Yes, so this is the reason it doesn't look centralized. The left padding is 12 while the other part is 5. So I'll make this 5 and now it's centralized. Okay, and I have to change the border radius to 50% and it will look nicely rounded or circled. And I'll drag it and come close to the cart. Okay. So now if I add an item in the cart, the number keeps increasing. You see that. Okay. But then also you don't want to make it editable. So all you have to do again is come to the fill. Of course, fill should be transparent. Okay. And then color is white. You can make the white, we can make this bold, okay, or semi bold. Next is the border should be this color or white actually, so you'll be able to see that. Then border should be 2, border radius should be 50, and if this is not good you can increase it to 3, and then let's see what it looks like. 3 is not actually good, let's make it 5, and 5 looks fine. Yet you don't want selected or disabled color to be not good. So you have to select the disabled color to be transparent, and you have not disabled it, right? So for us to disable this, we are going to look for display mode. So here we have display mode in edit, we put it to disable. All right, so we come down, look for the disabled settings, and that is where we have to change the color. So disabled color here is this, so I have to put it transparent. And then the disabled border should be white. And the disabled color itself should be white. And we have everything all set. Another thing you need to talk about is the hover. If you hover over it, it might not really look good. So you have to come here and then change the hover color to maybe white, just the way it is, and then this to white, and then okay, everything just nice, and then this is okay, yeah, border hover fill and all that. So make this white, okay. Okay, so I think we have what we need, but then we need to space this out so that we don't have it really close. In case our numbers are big, we'll be able to see it well. And another thing you want to do is group this to one. So Control G to make it one. And after grouping it, we'll be using it for some other things, maybe in our next video. But right now, let us modify this to be able to add item based on the selected item. So I'm going to say, put a condition if is blank, make a lookup to my orders where PRD ID, okay, is equal to this item.id. And then close it, close again, and put a comma, go to the end and close this. Now this looks good, but this is not a solution yet. Okay, to make this a solution, we have to say, what if this is not blank? How do we increase? So for us to increase, all we have to do is put a comma here and say patch, and then we patch this where this item is equal to this item. So we're going to still use this lookup. So put the curly braces and close. So you see, we have a condition. If one fails, the other one should be run. Okay, so inside here we are not done. What we need at this time is these two items. So we need the product price and the product quantity, and that's what we need to add here. So I'm going to paste this and do anyway, and then paste this. So this is going to be coming from, I'm going to use the lookup again. I'm going to leverage the lookup to be able to let this. So this is going to be dot PRD quantity plus 1. And I'm going to also leverage this to multiply the total price. Okay, undo. So this is what I need. But here, you no longer should be referring to something that you don't want. Hold on a little bit, something is off. Okay, you have seen it. Okay, so here, the moment you do look up this product item and then you add it to 1 and multiply by price, what it's going to give you is, for example, if this is if the quantity is 10, you add a new item 1, it's going to be 11, and then you expect it to be 11 times the price, but it's going to be 1 times the price plus the quantity, and you don't want that. So to avoid that, you just wrap this inside um a parenthesis. Yeah, ideally, if you're following the principle of BODMAS should first of all do the addition before yeah, of course, yes. I think BODMAS actually does multiplication before addition, right? So that is the reason why this happens. So if you're following the principle of BODMAS, it does the multiplication first before the addition. So that is why this works this way. Yeah, sometimes it can be misunderstood, but this is exactly what it does. Now let's play this app and then add the product. If we add this again, we should have 1. And if we add this, we should have 2. If we add this, we should have 3, no matter how many times you clicked. Okay, so now you'll be able to add your product to cart. The next thing we're going to be discussing is how to view the products that we've added to cart in a different screen, and then also be able to check out. So in our next video, I'll be discussing a little more about how we're going to do that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.